following presentation was first given at the World Religions After September 11 Global Congress held on September 15, 2006 in Montreal, Canada, which was organized by Dr. Arvind Sharma of McGill University. The presentation was part of a panel discussion entitled Proselytization and Religious Freedom in an Interfaith Perspective, chaired by Dr. Kusamita Peterson. As managing editor of Hinduism Today magazine, I've been asked to share our 4 decades of experience with Christian proselytization as it manifests in non-Christian communities around the world. This presentation will focus on unethical missionary methods. Unfortunately, such methods are commonplace. We'll begin with a clip from a video produced by the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America entitled The World of Islam. This video deals with evangelization of Muslims in Africa and contains this short statement of missionary methods.
Today, there are tremendous opportunities for Christians to reach out to Muslims in love. Millions are currently displaced because of war or famine. In many parts of the Islamic world, literacy rates are exceptionally low. In other places, doctors are few and medicines are scarce. Humanitarian aid and relief work are always in demand and usually well received. There are also radio and correspondence courses, the Jesus movie, literature distribution, and friendship evangelism, which are all valuable ways through which Muslims come to Christ.
This next video clip is part of An Invasion Through Conversion, produced by Dharma Raksha Samiti in Bangalore, India, and deals with efforts among Hindus by missionaries.
But what are the means they have adopted to do so? The missionaries first enter the villages in the guise of social work, offer jobs to pre-identified persons from local caste or community. They remain continuously in touch with those villagers only to build discontentment about Hinduism. Large get-togethers and mass healing programs are organized. Through these massive programs, they create a make-believe environment that all diseases, disabilities, psychological disorders can be cured merely by touching. Is it true then that the people who are embracing Christianity are denying the Hindu philosophy and have understood the Bible properly? Not at all. These conversions are neither intellectual nor spiritual.
Five types of activities are described in these 2 clips: relief work in disasters and war, social service projects, education, massive faith healing rallies, and literature distribution. We will proceed through these 5, giving examples of what is done. The first area to discuss is relief work as a result of disaster. Most recently, we have the example of the 2004 tsunami, which orphaned this young boy. A number of Christian groups marshaled their forces to proselytize among the victims. The most egregious example was that of the Virginia-based missionary group World Help, which attempted to adopt 300 Muslim orphans from Banda Aceh and raise them in Christian orphanages. Their goal was to later send these Christianized children as adults back into Banda Aceh to convert the otherwise resistant population. The group's website explained at the time, quote, "These children are homeless, destitute, traumatized, orphaned, with nowhere to go, nowhere to sleep, and nothing to eat. If we can place them in a Christian children's home, their faith in Christ could become the foothold to reach the Aceh people." The question then comes up, are these the actions of rogue organizations operating on the fringes of the missionary community? or are they mainstream policy? Unfortunately, the answer is the latter. The International Congress on World Evangelization was held in Lausanne, Switzerland in 1974. At this meeting of the world's most major evangelical leaders, of which Billy Graham was the most prominent, they discussed the means and objectives of evangelization. One resulting document, Christian Witness to Refugees, was issued in 1980. Section 5 is titled, Guidelines for Responsible Christian Action. I will read part of this passage. Quote, the idea of neglecting the physical and social needs of refugees or of using them as leverage for religious ends is deplorable. On the other hand, refugees have spiritual needs during each phase of their traumatic pilgrimage, and insensitivity to those needs would be equally irresponsible for concerned Christians. Sensitive, timely sharing of the gospel alone can meet the deepest needs of refugees. From the beginning, they should be given spiritual leadership responsibilities, thus becoming bridges for reaching their own group. Unquote. Herein are contained the two rationalizations World Help used in trying to adopt the children from Banda Aceh. First, that the best thing to be done for these refugees is to destroy their traditional religious beliefs and replace them with Christian beliefs, because this is their deepest need. And second, use the people so converted as bridges to reaching more in their own group. In my opinion, far from being responsible Christian action, this document is advocating opportunistic exploitation of vulnerable people. Here's a further example of social work which can have an ulterior motive. This Christian group is building a home for tsunami survivors in Sri Lanka. In 1984, our ashram was involved in building homes in the Kilinochchi area for Tamils who had fled the 1983 riots, which began the long-running civil war in that country. We had raised funds and partnered with Hindu organizations in the country, as well as the Catholic Church. At the opening ceremonies, our representative was astounded to hear a man about to receive a home asking the Catholic priest, "Father, do we convert to Catholicism now or later?" The man had been led to believe this was a requirement for getting the home, even though it was mostly financed by Hindus. There are many similar stories of conversion being the price to pay for receiving missionary aid. The third area of missionary work is education. Here are pictured children from a Catholic school who greeted Pope John Paul II during his visit to India in 1999. Most of the children in Catholic school in Sri Lanka and India are Hindus, sent there by their parents in hopes of a better education, but often at the expense of their faith. One Catholic priest in Sri Lanka told us straight out, "The Hindu children in this school may not become Catholics, but they will certainly never be good Hindus." People in Jaffna explained how they were not allowed to wear the Hindu bindi or tilak mark to Christian school, and were told to curse and spit at a shrine or temple when they passed. Just this September, a Catholic school in Maharashtra, India, scheduled exams to coincide with the Ganesha Chaturthi festival in an attempt to disrupt their Hindu students' observances. The students are 80% Hindus and also are not allowed to wear bindi or tilak. Hindus well remember the Pope's statement during his 1999 visit. Upon Deepavali festival, one of our holiest days, he proclaimed in Delhi, "Just as the first millennium saw the cross firmly planted in the soil of Europe, and the second in that of America and Africa, so may the third Christian millennium witness a great harvest of faith on this vast and vital continent." Hindus were shocked by this predatory prediction that we would be harvested like some ripe crop.